The battlefield of today is a place of rapid change, where traditional forms of warfare clash with cutting-edge technology. The conflict between Ukrainian and Russian forces serves as a prime example of how new tactics, advanced weaponry, and precision strikes are transforming the nature of combat. In this video, we'll explore the pivotal role of drones, artillery, and tanks in modern warfare, as well as how they influence outcomes on the ground. A new age of warfare. In a recent conflict, Russian forces launched a typical offensive. Tanks and artillery pushing forward, seemingly invincible. However, the dynamic quickly shifted when Ukrainian forces deployed cutting-edge FPV drones. These drones, capable of precise strikes, halted a Russian convoy within moments, demonstrating the increasing power of unmanned technology on the battlefield. The drones targeted the enemy's weak points with incredible accuracy, stopping the tanks and causing soldiers to abandon their vehicles in a panic. This shift in strategy wasn't just about immobilizing tanks. Ukrainian artillery units seized the opportunity to strike, targeting the halted Russian tanks with devastating accuracy. Aided by aerial support, the Ukrainian forces made sure that each disabled vehicle was completely destroyed. In one instance, the operator carefully placed an explosive charge on an immobilized BMP, infantry fighting vehicle, causing an internal explosion that set off the ammunition, obliterating the vehicle entirely. This marks a significant shift in the military landscape. Traditionally, tanks were the dominant force on the battlefield, but with drones and precision artillery, their vulnerability has been exposed. The ability to neutralize tanks without putting soldiers in harm's way is a game changer. And it's clear that the future of warfare involves more reliance on drones and less on traditional artillery. The power of air and ground support, combining forces. Once the Russian convoy was disabled by drones, Ukrainian forces didn't stop there. The battlefield continued to evolve with every minute. When a Russian M3 air defense system worth $45 million was spotted, Ukrainian artillery swiftly took action, launching a GMLRS rocket from a HIMARS system that directly struck the target. The Russian asset was wiped out, showcasing the devastating effectiveness of modern rocket artillery. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces spotted another advancing BMP and launched another FPV drone strike. This time, despite the BMP's reinforced hull, its power jamming system, and barbed wire protections, the Ukrainian drone operator was able to land a precise hit that brought the vehicle to a standstill. Moments later, a massive explosion was triggered by the BMP's ammunition, resulting in another destroyed vehicle. As Russian forces scrambled to adapt, the Ukrainian Leopard tanks laid in wait. The Leopards, advanced Western tanks, demonstrated superior power. They tore through the Russian lines with precision, neutralizing multiple targets, and even inflicting heavy casualties on enemy infantry. The Russian tanks, by comparison, showed severe vulnerabilities, often exploding after a single strike. This stark contrast in tank durability highlights the difference in engineering between Russian and Western military technology. Tank wars. Tanks have long been the backbone of ground assaults. However, the effectiveness of tanks on the battlefield is now increasingly scrutinized due to advances in anti-tank weaponry. A major revelation in this conflict was the resilience of Western tanks, such as the Leopard, Abrams, and Bradley, compared to their Russian counterparts. Western tanks have proven to be far more survivable in the face of direct hits, with crews often able to escape unharmed, even when the vehicles are damaged. For instance, when a Ukrainian Leopard tank was struck by enemy fire, it initially seemed as if the tank had been critically damaged. However, the flames were part of a controlled ammunition release process, and the crew evacuated safely. The situation demonstrated how Western tanks are designed with crew protection in mind, allowing them to survive extreme conditions and continue operating under fire. In stark contrast, Russian tanks like the T-90M have displayed a fatal flaw. Their ammunition ignites easily when damaged. Ukrainian FPV drones exploited this weakness, guiding precise strikes into the turrets and engine compartments of the Russian tanks, causing massive explosions that resulted in complete destruction. It's clear that Russia's flagship tank, despite its reputation, is far more vulnerable than previously believed. The impact of modern artillery and precision targeting. As the conflict progressed, Ukrainian forces continued to capitalize on their superior artillery and drone capabilities. A series of attacks demonstrated the devastating potential of modern artillery systems. When Ukrainian forces spotted a Russian tank preparing for an assault, they launched a series of devastating strikes using drones and precision artillery. A single hit on a T-90M tank caused it to lose mobility, and a subsequent strike by a second drone destroyed the vehicle entirely. In one particularly notable moment, a Ukrainian drone targeted the weak points between the turret and hull of a Russian tank. The drone operator's precision paid off when the explosion ignited the tank's ammunition, triggering a series of secondary explosions that completely consumed the vehicle. What's even more remarkable is that the $3.5 million Russian tank was destroyed by 3 drones that cost a fraction of that price, highlighting the cost-effective nature of modern warfare. The effectiveness of this tactic wasn't just about brute force. It also showcased the growing importance of intelligence and precision targeting. With the aid of advanced drones and real-time data, Ukrainian forces have been able to track, target, and eliminate Russian armor with unprecedented accuracy. The result is a battlefield where tanks, once seen as the ultimate weapon, are now highly vulnerable to small, agile, and highly accurate drone strikes. Adapting to the new reality. As the war has progressed, Russian forces have made attempts to adapt to this new reality. To counter drone strikes, they've reinforced their tanks with additional armor, reactive shields, and electronic warfare systems designed to disrupt drone targeting. Despite these improvements, however, Ukrainian drone operators have continued to find vulnerabilities. In one instance, a Russian tank's turret was surrounded by reactive armor and electronic jamming systems. However, the skilled Ukrainian operator still managed to pinpoint a slightly open hatch and drop a grenade right through it. The result was another fireball on the battlefield, proving that even the best defenses couldn't completely protect their tanks. Interestingly, Russian forces have also relied on a strategy of reinforcing their tanks with mesh cages and additional armor plates. These modifications aim to prevent drone attacks, but the effectiveness of these measures remains questionable. In one dramatic instance, a Ukrainian drone targeted a tank's underbelly, the area where armor was weakest. After the grenade was dropped into the tank, it quickly erupted into a series of explosions, with the reactive armor modules detonating one after another. Despite these adaptations, the fact remains that Western technology and tactics continue to dominate on the battlefield. Russian tanks and armored vehicles, regardless of how much they are reinforced, remain vulnerable to precision drone strikes, artillery, and Western tank fire. The future of warfare. As modern technology reshapes the battlefield, it's clear that drones, advanced artillery, and precision targeting are becoming the new dominant forces in warfare. Traditional tank battles are being replaced by high-tech assaults that rely on speed, intelligence, and precision. The Ukrainian forces have demonstrated this new approach effectively, using drones to neutralize enemy tanks, artillery to obliterate targets, and advanced Western tanks to maintain control of key positions. This shift also emphasizes the growing importance of adaptability in modern warfare. The ability to rapidly deploy and exploit emerging technologies has given the Ukrainian forces a significant advantage. In contrast, Russia's failure to adequately adapt to these changes has exposed weaknesses in their military infrastructure. As the conflict continues, the lessons learned from this conflict will likely influence military strategies worldwide. The increasing reliance on unmanned systems, precision strikes, and sophisticated targeting technologies points to a future where traditional tactics may no longer be enough to win battles. Instead, success will be determined by a nation's ability to integrate cutting-edge technology into its military strategy, making the battlefield of tomorrow vastly different from the one we've known for decades. If you found this deep dive into modern warfare fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis and updates on the latest military technology and tactics. Thanks for watching.